Should wizard hit mommy? Joe's father Jack told story every evening. Every story had a slight variation except a small creature named the Roger. The owl told him to go to the wizard and he would perform a magic spell that would solve the problem. The narrator wanted to impress Joe that the little skunk loved his mommy more than he loved all the other little animals. She insisted that her father should in the story the other way round.
Should wizard hit mommy? On Saturday evening, Jack told his daughter Jo a bedtime story which did not exist anywhere. The central character was always Roger, a fish, a squirrel or a chipmunk. That evening it was Roger Skunk. Roger Skunk smelled very bad that none of the other woodland creatures also would play with him and called him Stinky Skunk and would run away. He used to start crying. Then one day, he went sadly to a very big tree where there was a huge, wise, old owl on the topmost pointed end of the tree.
Should wizard hit mommy? After listening to Roger's problem, the owl confirmed that Shank really smelled bad and suggested to go to the wizard. The wizard would be available if Shank went through the dark wood under the apple trees into swamp where he lived in the wizard's house. The house was over a creek. Shank reached there and a tiny little old man came out with a long white beard and a pointed blue hat. The wizard took his magic wand and asked Roger what he wanted to smell like. Roses. The wizard chanted a magic spell.
Should wizard hit mommy? All of a sudden the wizard's house was full of the smell of roses. He charged a fee of 7 pennies but Roger had only 4. The wizard directed him to go to the end of the lane and turn around 3 times and look down the magic well where he could find missing 3 pennies. After being blessed by the beautiful smell of rose, Roger ran into the woods where other creatures gathered around him, played various games and laughed all afternoon. After getting it dark, the other animals ran to their
Joe thought that the story was over, but Jack didn't like that she should take anything for granted. Roger's mother asked him the reason of change. The mother insisted that they should go back to that awful wizard. The mother was not happy and so she hit the wizard right over his head because she wanted Skunk to be like a skunk only. Skunk smelled very bad again. Later on, Skunk and his mother went home. They heard the sound of the train and their daddy arrived for supper. Jack described various items of their supper and the story was over. But his daughter was not satisfied the way the story ended.
She inquired whether other animals did not run away. Jack answered negatively, saying that they adjusted and didn't mind at all. She was not happy with the mother now. She wanted the mother to think emotionally. Jack asked her to have a good long sleep. Joe requested father to tell the story the next day that the wizard to get magic wand and hit the mommy right over her head. But Jack did not agree with the suggestion. He told that the point was that little skunk loved his mommy other than all other animals and she knew what was right for her child. Joe did not agree and insisted that her father should change the story. Jack promised to think over it and pray.
Should wizard hit mommy? Jack closed the door and went downstairs to his wife Claire, who had spread the newspaper and opened the paint can. She had an old shirt. She was stroking the chair rail with a dipped brush. He heard footsteps upstairs and shouted to beat Joanne on the buttocks, and then the footsteps wavered. Claire told that was a long story and started working hard on the woodwork. It included a cage of molding and rails and baseboards all around them. He felt caught in an ugly middle position with his wife. So he simply watched everything with utter weariness.